August the 6th, 2020. Guys, you're looking at a map from poweroutages.us. There were 6.4 million homes that had the power wiped out during Isaiah's trip up the East Coast. 2.2 million still do not have power. And I've talked about this before many times about when Katrina hit us in Mississippi and Louisiana. We had no power for 2 weeks and no water for 2 weeks. Also, none of the stores, food stores or anything, were open where you get gas or food because their cash registers and debit card machines don't work without power. So we're right in the middle of hurricane season. We got until November 1st. Be prepared. Start thinking about this, because it's not just about power outages for bad weather. Other things can happen to our grid. You understand that. I hope you do. But you want to have backup solar power, generators. You want to have backup water, backup food, things like that. It's all about preparing. And if you're caught off guard, then it's too late. That's my point about repeating the Katrina story. If you wait, it's too late. And in some circumstances, people were in a lot of trouble. It got very hot and humid after Katrina. It was cool the day it blew in, of course, but then after that, the humidity set in, and it was unbearable. 100-degree heat index with high humidity. It was just unbearable. You're very fortunate to find a place where you could sit down with just a fan during that period of time. And when people are on CPACs, air machines, and things like that, it's critical to do that. Now, we have talked about solar power backup for a long time. And if you look at our website, guys, there's solar generators. You stick a panel out, let it charge up, and then you've got some power to get your communications going, things like that, just depending on your system. But it's time to think about it, because there's a lot of things that are changing in this nation and around the world. Tensions are rising. And one of the first things that's going to happen if you do have a kinetic war is your grids are going to be taken out. You kill the communications of the enemy. And that's how they look at this. Now, this was updated last night at 8:21 p.m. Eastern. New Jersey had 694,000 customers out. Connecticut, 694,000. New York, 642,000. You can look down the line, 86,000 in Pennsylvania, 65,000 in Massachusetts, 31,000 in Rhode Island, 26,000 in Virginia, 18,000 in New Hampshire, and 11,000 in Maine. Now, power companies from around the nation have responded to the area there, and that's why you've got 60% power back on instead of 6 million, and you're down to 2 million. But from the Carolinas to the Delmarva Peninsula to New Jersey to New York City, Isaiah's. I said Isaiah's. I didn't say some other name. Look it up in the Bible. I know the weather people probably don't like the Bible. Nobody in mainstream media does. So what do? Come up with, I don't care if it's Spanish or whatever. Here, it's called Isaiah. Just all you do is add an H on the end of it, and it says Isaiah. But he was called Isaiah. So I don't want to hear it. Too much political bullshit going on right now to be correct about, okay? Just sick of it. But here's the map, guys. And what's strange about this, we followed this track. And when it got down into the Bahamas, suddenly there was an explosion in size and in intensity. And that happened on the day that the solar winds picked up. They just started letting off yesterday, nearly 4 days of intense solar winds. I could tell it. A lot of other people could tell it. But when it hit, we started seeing the storm go into these cycles along the East Coast while it was offshore, cycling up larger and larger. And it was very strange to see it do it that way. Sometimes they will form out, just get bigger and come in, but to just explode right at the shoreline, which is, by the way, in reach of a lot of different type of radar. But when that solar power or that solar wind stream hit at over 1.5 million miles per hour, things went downhill quick with this storm, and it kept that intensity up. Usually when you see one come ashore, it will die down, but this thing, over 100 tornadoes were reported. Think about that. Some were, small ones, some were a little larger, but 97 tornadoes were reported. Some were saying 100 plus. And that alone is devastating. And then I saw flooded homes and flooded cars and rescues and things like that. Just, you cannot let your guard down with the way this weather's changing during grand solar minimum. And guys, even though there were not EF5 tornadoes, they were very strong. This is images coming from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. It says videos taken from Doylestown Hospital in SC, Southeast Pennsylvania, shows significant tornado damage, including overturned cars, buildings ripped apart in Dover. Check it out. This thing left a trail of destruction. And again, a lot of people let their guard down. It went down to a tropical storm, then started coming ashore, and it just continued to ramp up all the way up to northeast. And I think it had everything to do with that increased solar wind. Damage in Cortland, Virginia. This person, Jamie, that put this in, said, I have worked down there today. It was unreal. It was the first tornado damage I've seen firsthand. Think about that. When you're in the south, it's pretty common, but I guess the further up north you get, the less common it is, and that's the point of this video. Things are changing. But just, guys, of course, our website has the newest technology in solar power, solar generators, things like that. Very affordable. A lot of it can be financed right there from the site. But be prepared. Don't be caught off guard. Make sure you have a tremendous amount of food. I don't care if it's what it is, beans and rice, whatever it is. Things are going to come on this nation very quickly. And you need to be prepared in many ways. I've got an interesting video, guys, that I'm working on the side. It's not quite ready yet, but it has to do with some of the things we're seeing and Denver. I'll just leave it at that. I'm trying to get it to where I can work it into a way to where it won't get you kicked off YouTube, if you understand what I'm saying. But guys, watch for that coming up. Prayers go out to all the folks up in the Northeast there. I got a lot of friends. I hope you have your power back or you're getting it back sooner. Let us know in the comments if you're in some of these areas, and just maybe someone can do something and help. We're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.